When you think of a mystery, what comes to mind? Fingerprints? Maybe a smoking gun? Well, get ready to throw all that out the window. Today we're diving into a book series that trades the magnifying glass for a surveyor's theodolite and solves crimes not in some dark alley, but on the unforgiving lines of a map. This is the world of Thorne and Linus Cartographic Mysteries. And let me tell you, it completely reimagines the genre. Let's get into what makes it so darn cool. This quote right here, from our main guy, Silas Thorne, really gets to the absolute heart of the whole series. See, the world of these books is built on one simple, really powerful idea. The land doesn't lie. But people? Oh, people lie all the time. And in this world, their lies get etched into the very maps they create, just waiting for someone like Silas, a surveyor with a really keen eye, to find them. So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the whole unique premise, what we're calling the surveyor's eye. Then, we've got to meet the two brilliant partners at the center of it all, the compass and the cards. After that, we'll dig into the really satisfying formula of each mystery in a map of murder. And finally, we'll uncover the epic, overarching quest that ties the entire series together, following the father's bearing. All right, so let's start at the very beginning, the foundation of this whole world. What in the world is a cartographic mystery? This concept just completely redefines what a crime scene even is, right? The evidence isn't a stray hair or a footprint. No, it's a street that curves for no logical reason, or a boundary line that somehow creates acres of land that don't technically exist. The whole mystery is a mistake in the geometry, a mistake that, as Silas Thorne says, carried intention, that someone had designed. It's a flaw on purpose. And that means the stakes are just incredibly high. A map isn't just a piece of paper. It's a binding contract, a promise. Silas himself thinks of it this way. If the chart lies, ships die. If the chart is true, ships arrive. The chart is the promise. And when that promise gets broken, when a map becomes a lie, or even a weapon, well, that's when Thorne and Linus show up. And that brings us to the incredible duo at the center of these novels. Honestly, they're the engine of every single investigation, and their dynamic is what makes these books absolutely sing. So, first up, you've got Silas Thorne. This is a man of pure logic, precision, and measurement. He believes in the cold, hard, objective truth that his instruments reveal. And this quote, it's his whole worldview in a nutshell. A compass will always point north. A theodolite will always measure an angle perfectly. The tool itself is innocent. The crime, the morality of it, is in how a person decides to use it, where they choose to place the lines on that map. And his partner, Linus, is the absolute perfect counterpoint. He's not a surveyor, he's a gambler, a master card player. Where Silas reads the unchangeable land, Linus reads the unpredictable people. He gets that human behavior isn't about fixed points, it's all about probability and odds. And as this quote shows you, he always knows the odds. You can see right here how perfectly their skills complement each other. It's fantastic. Silas uses his theodolite to measure the physical world, finding a fixed, undeniable truth. Linus, on the other hand, uses his deck of cards to read the town, calculating probabilities to uncover the unseen truths, the motives, the secrets, the lies. Put them together and you get a complete picture that neither one of them could ever find on their own. Now, one of the most satisfying things about this series is how brilliantly each mystery is put together. There's this clear, logical blueprint to every single case, and it's just so rewarding to follow along. It unfolds in 5 key stages. It always kicks off with a totally normal job, a routine survey. But then, Silas finds something, a discrepancy, a measurement that just makes no sense. And pretty soon, he realizes this little geographic lie is hiding a much bigger crime, usually a murder. And that murder, in turn, is just there to protect an even bigger conspiracy, some massive fraud built on a bad map. And every book ends with this amazing scene, the drafting scene, where Silas draws the correct map, and that map itself becomes the instrument of justice. It's so good. Take this example from the second book, A Compass for the Dead. Silas discovers that the buoys marking a safe channel in a harbor have been moved, not by miles, but by a mere 40 yards. It's a difference so small no ship's captain would ever notice it from the deck. But that tiny difference, that 40-yard lie, was enough to wreck 12 ships over 8 years. Also, the villagers could profit from the salvage. It's a perfect crime of geometry. But here's the thing. Underneath all these individual cases, these crooked towns and deadly harbors, there's a single, powerful story that's driving Silas forward. connecting all 3 books into one grand, epic journey. The whole series, everything Silas does, is driven by one thing. He's following the trail of his father, Silas Thorne. Elias was one of the greatest surveyors of his time, and 2 decades ago, he just disappeared. He left behind a mystery that only his son, another surveyor, could possibly hope to solve. And this quest isn't just some vague backstory. It actively builds across the series. In Book 1, Silas finds a survey marker left by his dad stamped with a specific compass direction, a bearing, and one single word: continue. In Book 2, he follows that bearing and it leads him to a crate of brand new surveying tools addressed to his father. And then in Book 3, he finds coordinates hidden inside the crate's lid, pointing him to the next location. Each book is another stop on his father's grand survey. This might just be the most beautiful idea in the entire series. Linus is the one who figures it out. This isn't a cold case. It's a traverse. In surveying, that's a series of points, each one visible from the last. Silas Thorne didn't just leave clues. He laid out a survey for his son to follow. He's communicating with him across 20 years of silence, using the only language they both truly share, the language of cartography. Which brings us to this incredibly powerful quote from Linus. It just perfectly captures the hope at the very heart of Silas's quest. His father is missing, not confirmed dead. And in a world where everything, absolutely everything, comes down to precise measurement, that distinction means everything. It's the space where hope lives. It's the distance the investigation hasn't covered yet. So each solved mystery, each corrected map, reveals the coordinates for the next leg of this incredible journey, leaving all of us with the same thrilling question: where will the next bearing lead? If you want to find out, you can check out all 3 books in the Thorne and Linus Cartographic Mysteries series. They're all available right now on Amazon.